Hi, and welcome to the Celestial Tea Podcast.
I'm Love.
And I'm Tylen.
And we're two Los Angeles-based astrologers and witches serving up the cosmic tea about your favorite celebrities, musicians, and artists.
As always, if you enjoy our hot takes and breakdowns, please leave us a 5-star review wherever you stream, share with your friends and fam, and follow us on all the socials.
So if you're a pop culture baddie, tune in, get your cup of tea, and get ready to sip from the stars.
Y'all ready to sip some tea?
This time, it's political.
Yeah, we're going there.
This time, it's intentionally spicy. Okay, so we are covering Sydney Sweeney's chart. You guessed it, because of the American Eagle ad.
Yeah, she took the internet by storm with that one.
By eugenics with that one.
Yeah, white supremacy propaganda.
We were debating if we wanted to cover this because, like we said, we wanted to cover things that were trending and viral and all that stuff and celebrities, but we're also, like, the podcast is called Celestial Tea, right? Like, we're not just here to, like, worship celebrities and be like, yay, we love them, they're so powerful, and blah, blah, blah. Like, we can also use astrology to call out people and to understand people's choices, even when they're doing things that are unsavory. So we were talking about it. We're like, should we do Sydney Sweeney's chart? Because she is problematic right now. But I really like what you were saying. You were like, she has a really dedicated fan base. And that is something that we were, like, interested in, like, understanding more. And we both intuitively felt like it didn't seem like she was like, I don't know, I didn't, like, we were like, that seems kind of BS that you wouldn't have known that this commercial was, like, promoting white supremacy.
It's very intentional.
Yeah, and then when we looked at her chart, which is full of earth.
Yes.
And, like, all the earth signs are known for being, like, super intentional.
Capricorn moon, Virgo sun.
Like, very, like, I have a Virgo Mars. Like, I won't talk shit on anything unless I have the receipts to back it up. Like, that's Virgo energy, is like, I need to know everything that I'm getting into before I get into it.
Yeah.
So we were like, wow, okay, so we're going to look at her human design and her astrology and dissect why she made this choice. Why is she showing up and using her celebrity for not the right things? And it's actually really interesting. I'm excited. There's a lot that I learned about this person. Yeah. Do you want to start with the astrology?
Yeah, let's get into it. Yeah. Okay, so like I said, Sydney Sweeney is a Virgo sun, and she's got Black Moon Lilith and the North Node conjunct her sun, which we'll break down in a minute. A Capricorn moon with Neptune conjunct her moon.
Wow.
And with the timing that we received from the internet, this gives her a Scorpio rising, which definitely feels accurate looking at her, the intensity. So with her ascendant point, it looks like it is in the 3rd decan of Scorpio, a decan ruled by Venus. And this gives her Mars, whose domicile in Scorpio, conjunct her ascendant, as well as Persephone.
Wow.
And Sydney Sweeney gives the archetypal energy of Persephone. She utilizes the scorpionic magnetism and allure, because Scorpio energy is sexy, right?
Yeah. Like, just think of a vampire. Like, they, like, enthrall you, they draw you in, they're mysterious, they're powerful, they're dark and, like, taboo.
Yes.
And like, Persephone's story is basically all those things, too. Yeah, so, like, if you don't know Persephone, she is sort of similar to, like, Black Moon Lilith. She's one of the, like, dark feminine. People, like, label her as, like, a dark feminine figure.
She was a springtime goddess. She was the goddess of flowers. And what I find so fascinating is that Persephone's story is never told from her perspective.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, she was like seen as the dark feminine. Because her whole story was like about control from Hades. Like,
so actually the way that I've been able to meditate with this story of Persephone, as the goddess of flowers in springtime, she's waltzing through her garden and she sees a flower that she clearly did not create. And I have an intuitive feeling that she knew exactly who planted that flower, because with Ceres, Demeter, her mother, she was very like smotherly towards her, like always wanting to know, where are you? What are you doing at all times? So I feel like Persephone purposely touched the flower that she knew she didn't create. And that's when the earth split open. Hades abducted her into the underworld, but what does she do when she's in the underworld? She purposely eats 6 pomegranate seeds. And we all know when you enter into another realm, you don't eat the food. You're going to get stuck in that realm. So I feel like
shout out to the people who watch True Blood. That's a good deep cut. They can't eat the fruit in the fairy realm because then they get stuck.
Yes, we all know this growing up. So at least
we all know this.
At least if you grow up hearing fairy stories.
You're like, everyone, duh. You went to the other realm and didn't eat the food, right?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's just
common knowledge.
I love you too. Right?
You're like, everyone knows this.
So well, for me, now. Reading that, I'm like, oh, she did this purposefully.
So that she would be away from her mom.
And become a queen in her own right. Because Hades, the energy of transformation and desire, to me feels like this red light laser beam that knows your deepest truths. And while confronting our desires, it can feel like an earth-shattering moment because it's uncomfortable to get from this place to this place. Persephone's story really shows us the archetypal energy of maturing and evolving and owning our sexual nature.
Which is definitely like dark feminine. Like I could see why people put her there.
Oh yeah, for sure. I just wanted to give context.
Yeah. Because most of the time we hear it from like the other perspective.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because she's not like Black Moon Lilith in the sense where Black Moon Lilith is just outright, I'm fierce. And I will not bend to anyone's
I mean, she's like Black Moon Lilith in the way that what I meant by that was like she's misunderstood and her story is like distorted and taken to use for like power and control. And like how you were saying, like you feel like it's just told from like everyone else's perspective but hers.
Yeah. So
I feel like she gets like lumped in with like all this like evil, like dark energy and stuff like that.
Yes, but it's, to me, doesn't necessarily feel dark, because I read that as like, wow, Persephone, this is your journey of empowerment.
But like a weird way to go up. I feel like it's like very naive to be like,
I
don't like where I'm at now, so I'm just gonna take this risk and like see what, maybe it's better over there. And it's like, well, the whole thing, I'm like, oh, she's trapped here and she can't, leave and all this stuff. So it's like, yeah, maybe she does like it better there, but I don't know. What do you think? Do you think she likes it better in hell than with her mom lording over her?
I think she does. I think she loves being the queen of the underworld.
She's like, feed me pomegranates.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very interesting.
At least that's my take. I know it's a very controversial take. So
the reason why we're taking the time to tell this story is because when it's conjunct your ascendant, like when things are in your first house, number one, they're very important to who you are in this lifetime and what you're meant to do in this lifetime and being your authentic self. Like you need to like really, I was going to say heed the warnings of the things in your first house, but it's like, yeah, really like understanding and working through the challenges or gifts. But when things are conjunct your ascendant, it's like right on top of your rising or your ascendant. Like that's like neon sign, like pay attention to this. So like when things like that are conjunct, especially in the first house, it's like amplifying all this energy and this power. It's like it's changing the flavor of her rising sign into, her story maybe aligns with like the Persephone story. So that's why we wanted to kind of like share that. which I think definitely tracks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so for some background, we did like background on her, right? We came with the receipts this time. You were saying like her family is very like MAGA and stuff like that. And so like that definitely tracks with the Persephone story about like aligning with something that's seen as bad or evil or being misunderstood or things like that. Like, it feels like there's like a lot of influence on her and not living her own.
Well, she's openly Republican though, but she hasn't stated any of her other political views other than that.
Sure, but like one could question, is she Republican because her parents are Republican and she was indoctrinated into it and raised into it and brainwashed, or is she Republican because she like genuinely also is like, yeah.
That's the question. Especially with Persephone on her ascendant, because like you said, she's embodying some of these archetypal qualities, as well as Mars, the god of war. That is another archetypal energy that she's here to embody. And we have to remember that Mars is domicile in Scorpio.
Yes. And so Scorpio is naturally ruled by Mars. And a lot of people are like, what? Because the god of war and like a water sign, it doesn't make sense.
Oh, it makes so much sense.
Yes. Yeah. There's this one astrologer that was like, Aries is the other sign ruled by Mars. Aries is the one like in the battle, like fighting in the front lines. Scorpio is the one strategizing in the battle. They're in the back, like making these strategies, making these long-term plans. I also sometimes see them as like an assassin or like a spy energy.
Yeah, it's like Aries, Mars and Aries is the frequency of let me just like make this cut open and physical, whereas Scorpio is the cut that goes deep in a psychological way.
Like torture. Yes. Yeah, like clandestine things. So that also makes sense too, right? Because she garnered such a strong fan base with Euphoria and like being like the pretty white blonde hair blue-eyed girl and all this stuff, and then now she's like coming out and low-key making a hard stance in support of like eugenics and like not just MAGA but like Nazi stuff. So Nazi ideologies that like white people, like Aryan looking people have better genetics. Like that's what the commercial basically says.
It was a very weird commercial, the way that it was worded and saying like genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often in determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. Like, isn't that a weird way to phrase what she's trying to say? Because I know she didn't write this ad, but there were many people in the back end creating this purposely. It just felt very like, what is this as a way to market, when wouldn't it, just in a way make more sense if you're trying to say an even personality? Because like, I don't know, I just feel like it was a very... Okay, can we cut this part out? I'm scrambling with my words here.
No, I get you. No, I get you. It's okay. Yeah. No, because like with personality, there's always the question of nature versus nurture, right? So from a spiritual standpoint, like there are parts of our soul that get passed on all the time because that's just our soul. Like me in my past life was similar to me in this lifetime. So there are parts that maybe are like genetic, but then there is an argument of the nurture part. Like, did you learn this, and is this part of your personality because that's the environment that you grew up in, and that's the upbringing that you had, and the parents that instilled these values into you, or the community or culture, right? So I feel like both could be argued in this point. If we know that her family is MAGA, then like she likely was raised hearing these things and these ideas. It's like the whole argument is like children are born racist. They learn racism.
It's just dangerous in this climate when we have Trump saying things like people have bad genes just for being immigrants, and then she's making this ad as a white woman saying, well, my genes are blue, indicating that she has good genes. And she plays into this good girl mentality.
I feel like the ad was super bizarre. Like, she was, like, standing there, like, kind of demure and, like, coy while they, like, pan on her. It was giving, like, purity culture vibes to me. Like, oh, my genes, you know? Like, they're just passed down from my parents. And it's like, girl, you know what you're saying over here. Like, you're trying to tell everyone that, like, you're better because you have white skin and blonde hair and blue eyes. Like, and also, who fucking sells jeans that way? Like, I don't understand. Like, I'm gonna go buy a pair of jeans because Sydney Sweeney has blonde hair and blue eyes. Like, is American Eagle also saying, like, we only want white customers? Like, we only want Aryan customers? Like, who are you pandering to? Like, who are you trying to get to buy your jeans? Like, that's kind of weird, like, to say that and to use that model, use her as your archetype. Like, what are you asking people watching this? Like, if you're a person of color or if you're queer or if you're like, you know, non-binary, like, don't come around. Like, I don't understand. It's such a weird. And I also felt, because, you know, Beyonce did the Levi's commercial and it was kind of similar. Like, oh, I have like good jeans, but everyone like ate that shit up. But I think that there was a subtle difference in the fact that it was like a whole scene of her like coming in and like washing her jeans. So at least it's like her jeans could be interpreted as good because she just has like good, like the quality of the jeans are good. I don't know. I feel like American Eagle was like trying to do what Levi's did. But then it's like, why did they wait so long to release the counter commercial that's like in competition and during this climate and picking that model and saying those things? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. And that's the thing with her having Mars on her ascendant. I feel like Mars is an archetypal energy that is very sharp and direct.
And with the Scorpio, her saying like planning and like doing things intentionally and...
Well, that's the Virgo energy that she has.
But in battle, Scorpio is like the intentional, like they're the planner, they're the hidden, the, you know, all those things. And that like being a spy requires a lot of intention and planning.
And it is psychological manipulation in a way.
Yes, which we totally see in this commercial. Like they're trying, I don't know, I feel like it's so bizarre. It's like they did this like slow cut and like very, it felt like slow to me and like quiet as a way to like hide it, but it's like their message is so glaringly obvious that it's like, who are you fooling? Like, who are you hiding this from? Like, you're pretending it's just like a fun little, it was, I don't know, it was bizarre.
But then people on the right are saying like how insane it is that we're clearly pointing out the obvious with this ad having white supremacy undertones. But
they like to sweep all that shit under the rug anyways because they just want to like have us pretend that they're not like that.
But it is important to call these things out. And so that's why I'm happy that the internet is saying this and bringing this up to the forefront of let's have this conversation.
And we're basically saying like we took a look at her chart and I don't think any of this wasn't intentional. Like like you were saying, all the like we're just getting into her like rising and her Mars and the Persephone here and we're like already this is feeling intentional as fuck. Like it's feeling like we were talking about the energy of manipulation. Definitely manipulation for a purpose.
Yes. And I feel like Mars is also, especially on the ascendant, is an archetypal frequency of being very highly motivated, highly driven, highly ambitious. There's a lot of physical energy involved, and we see that with just how Sydney Sweeney is marketed. A lot of it is her physicality. But then there's a question of, okay, what are you putting that physicality and that drive towards?
And she's like just going through her Saturn return right now too. Like starting it.
Yeah, Saturn, she's getting a little taste of Saturn moving into her
which I think is
house.
kind of funny, right? Because it's like, she just made this ad and like Saturn's like, girl,
is your work actually aligned to your soul?
Yeah, like your actions have consequences, sweetie. Like if you're gonna go ahead and do that, like you're gonna get the backlash from it. You're gonna learn the hard way. I feel like that's actually really, yeah, she has her Saturn in Aries. So shout out to the people who have Saturn in Aries. I have Saturn in Pisces, so I'm just wrapping up my Saturn return. I technically won't be done till like March of next year. But the people who have Saturn in Aries, you're just starting your Saturn return. You're getting a little bit, then it's going to retrograde back into Pisces and then come back fully in 2026. So I feel like she's getting this taste. Like it's almost like a warning sign from Spirit. Spirit's like, do you really want to go this route? Do you want to keep like going hard into the Republican right-wing, like Nazi kind of like mentality? Do you want to align yourself with these people? Is that what is best for you?
And yeah, silence speaks volumes too. So
yeah, that's what she hasn't said anything.
Yeah.
So no official statement, nothing. Yeah, like that also is. Yeah, we'll talk about that.
And also Trump is praising this ad. Like, could you imagine if someone like
that's true,
Renee Rapp, like she did an ad and Trump was praising it? I feel like she would publicly be like, get out of here. I don't want you to support me. Yeah.
But if she's Republican and MAGA, she probably voted for Trump. So she's probably like, great. Yay.
Which is what I'm saying. Silence speaks volumes.
Yeah, she's letting everyone else have the conversation and she's waiting. She probably got advised by her agent to fucking say nothing and to let it blow over. But I feel like people aren't going to forget this. She has a really dedicated fan base of like a lot of people who watch Euphoria is like millennial Gen Z people. So it's like I feel like they're gonna keep this in their memory, or at least you should.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing with someone being in the public eye. Your art, it does reflect different aspects of your consciousness. And I think that if you don't come out publicly and share your experiences, like playing a certain character and like share the nuances and all of those pieces, then it does create this speculation frequency where we're like, what is actually going on here? But being a Scorpio rising, a part of her life's work is to appear as a kind of this air of mystery, which we've talked about before, because Scorpio risings as souls, they are people that have chosen to be the embodiment of transformation. They've chosen to be this alchemizing force, which means that they as souls move through lots of trauma, and not, every Scorpio rising is going to have the same story when it comes to that, because there are different layers of experiences, especially being a human. But essentially that is what Scorpio rising souls are here to do, and show us all how to transform and move through things. So,
and a lot of her roles are positions like that, like horror or like more darker type things. So, but it's funny because she's like literally in Handmaid's Tale, which is low-key a documentary at this point of America, and it literally talks about like taking the rights away from women and like being in like a fascist state. So it's just like really bizarre that she's in this show and then is still aligning with these people that are wanting kind of that show to be the reality. So I'm really like, is there anything in her chart that would like show like, do we think her soul agrees with this like lifestyle and mentality? And not that like is there anything that shows like, no, her soul's actually supposed to be doing this, like how we were looking at with Jax, where it's like, oh, he could be doing this, but he's not? Or do you think like there's some stuff that maybe shows like, oh, she could be like influenced by this or this or this?
Well, she does have again, a Virgo sun, and her sun is conjunct Black Moon Lilith and the North Node. And if she is a Scorpio rising, this would indicate that this would be in her 11th house.
That totally makes sense.
So that makes sense, right, to the level of community that she's cultivated, like literally selling her bathwater, but...
That's also very Scorpionic.
That's the thing that's interesting about this ad, is that it's meant to sell jeans to women, but yet it's pandering to the male gaze. And I feel like that is a lot of what she chooses to do with her work, which is also very Scorpionic, right? To utilize that, especially the Mars piece here.
It's like, I know that they like me and
physicality.
They know that, I know that they think I'm hot. Yeah. So like, I'm just gonna like say, run me my check then, pay me for being hot.
But going back to your question, Virgo is a sign that it's a mutable earth sign, which I always imagine like this crystal that is coming from the earth, where you can see things from all these different angles if you look through it. And that's really the highest principle of Virgo, is that it's here to cultivate discernment. It wants to analyze. And so because of that, Virgo energy can hyperfixate. It can crave perfection. And Virgo is a very intentional sign. It wants to move through things in a way that's step-by-step practical.
Yeah.
And so...
Which was why when I saw this, I was like, what? No way she didn't know. No way she... Like, she probably was, like, the third person that they reached out to. And she was the only one into it.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I feel like...
And in the 11th house of community, that makes a lot of sense. If her sun is here... And her North Node and her midhaven is also here. And wow, and her Mercury. Jesus.
Yeah, so, she has Hermes conjunct her MC, which also makes total sense.
So in the 11th house is the house of community, of like the collective of humanity. And her midhaven here, it makes sense why she has... Your midhaven is... like a calculation, it's like your highest peak. So if we think about our life as like a mountain range, this is the part that's going to stick out the most. So that's why it's usually in our 10th house of career and legacy, because it's like that's where we'll be remembered more. But sometimes people have it in the 9th house or the 11th house, like on either side of the 10th house. And that makes sense why she has like such a like fan base that's like hardcore and dedicated, and why she's like doubling down and like sticking to the community that she was born into. If her family is Republican and is right wing, like she's probably like, my purpose feels like it's here, like aligning with these people, like just intentionally building on that community that I've had.
Yeah, she has Jupiter in her 4th house, which Jupiter is, yes, in the 4th house, it brings blessings and abundance, but because Jupiter has connections to philosophy and religion, oftentimes souls that incarnate with Jupiter in their 4th house have some sort of tie to the family, because the 4th house is the roots of our natal chart. It's our psychological functions. Yes. And so Jupiter here can sometimes indicate that the soul has incarnated with a lineage that is related to a certain way of thinking, a religion, a philosophy, and that can take precedence in a way that's big, right? Jupiter is this expansive
taking over
energy.
Your life. Yeah, overshadowing your personal stuff.
Yeah.
That totally makes sense. Yeah. And her North Node conjunct her Sun and Black Moon Lilith is kind of shenanigans. Like, I'm almost like, so I'm going to tap in psychically because I'm so curious. I feel like, so the North Node is like your soul's like evolution, right? Like you're supposed to be like stepping into your North Node in this lifetime. Your South Node is where you're comfortable. You've done that for other lifetimes or in other ways.
Yes.
And so you're
like for her having a Pisces South Node, especially in the 5th house, she knows how to use her sexual energy. The 5th house is the house of our self-expression, sexuality, pleasure, creativity. Pisces is the sign of the artist, the mystic. She has spent many lifetimes developing her craft. She knows how to show up, and we clearly see it, right? She is very talented, and we're not denying that. Like, she's someone that can play lots of different roles and take up space in that way. because it's comfortable for her. It's familiar for her, actually.
And fulfilling a role. Maybe she feels like even her life is fulfilling that role for her family, and outwardly being a proponent for her family's ideology. It's weird. Spirit just showed me Marilyn Monroe, and I listen to a lot of conspiracy theory stuff. I feel like when you're a psychic, you kind of get you get entangled in some kind of conspiracy stuff, because a lot of it's true, I feel. And there's a conspiracy that Marilyn Monroe is like a psyop, basically. Like, she was a government plant that they kind of like hijacked her and used her for their gain and their mission with Kennedy. And they planted her as like, she was like the classical like sex object, the standard for women in the 50s, the 30s to the 50s area. And that's why she died so tragically and all these things, because there's conspiracy theories that she was basically just a pawn in a game for the government. Again, you don't have to believe in this, but Spirit showing that, like, that's kind of what it's giving, is like maybe she is more of like a figurehead for her family, more of like this pawn that's being used. And I don't think that she's unaware, because now they're sharing the movie Eyes Wide Shut. This is very sus. Have you seen Eyes Wide Shut?
Yeah, it's so good.
If you haven't, I highly recommend it. It's a little like jarring, but it's Stanley Kubrick.
Cult shit, then you're
cult stuff.
Cult stuff. You're gonna love this movie.
And it's with like Tom Cruise and what is her name? Nicole Kidman, who also has a Sag moon.
Fellow Sag moon.
Yeah. Okay, so that movie is about like a couple who stumbles upon a sex cult, basically. And then they're like, what the hell? Like, I just wanted to spice up my marriage. I didn't want to be part of a sex cult.
Yeah.
So I feel like in that, though, it's like they kind of like, he has to agree, and then they let him in on everything. So I feel like that's maybe the vibe that they're sharing that movie about, is like she's aware of what she's doing, but she's still sort of like being pushed into this. I don't know. I just keep seeing like her family members like being like, great, now that you're famous, like do this. Now that you're famous, do that. You know, like it feels like they like wanted it to be that way.
Yeah. Yeah, because with the sun in the 11th house, a part of your solar light, if you have this as well, is to show up as a leader for your community. So, but a part of leadership is you're navigating different people's opinions, right? That's why leaders have a council. They have people that they go to be advised from. And so I feel like definitely that feels an alignment, is she has a lot of people in her ear because she's here to show up in a big way for her community. But with Black Moon Lilith here, Lilith is an archetypal energy that relates to the dark feminine. And she's actually a calculated point, the darkest side of the moon, at the exact second of your birth. So she is the energy that represents the most raw part of ourselves, like so wild and untamed. She is the part of us that can be told that we're too much. Also this piece about being exiled, so where she is in our natal chart can indicate those themes of where we've been told we're too much, where we've been exiled. And that's so interesting that we're kind of seeing that actually right now in her nodal reversal, because right, the North Node is in Pisces, South Node is in Virgo, so she's in a nodal reversal time, where the collective, a part of the collective is essentially like exiling her for this ad, right? Like being like, what? This was propaganda. But she's here to show up in that way, especially with her solar light, of being raw, being honest, being vulnerable. And if she has all these people in her ear speaking into what is in her best interest to do, is she showing up in a way that is most in alignment with her true light? Mm-hmm. That's the question.
And I just looked up like her family and stuff just so that we could give a little more context. Mm-hmm. Her family's from like northern Idaho. She has described her family as religious. So there's already
in the fourth.
There's already that. Mm-hmm. She said that she was like very into sports and stuff, which makes sense having like the Scorpio Mars in the first house. And that she was like bullied and had to, I guess like the police got involved with like the bullying in like middle school. And then her parents, in order to help her pursue acting, they moved to Los Angeles like before high school, and they divorced because of it, and they lost a lot of financial like stuff because of supporting her acting career. It says that they relocated when she was like 13, and she had to like work jobs to help pay for the living in LA, which yeah, I know it's expensive in LA. And then it says she's like in robotics and math, which like Virgo rules science and math. So I'm a Virgo Mars. I love math and science. It's not a 1-to-1 ratio. My partner is a Virgo Mars and he's like, fuck math. But he has a architecture degree, make it make sense. So she actually went to high school here in Burbank, and she was the valedictorian. Very Virgo, very Virgo, being the best, the perfectionist. Yeah. And then she went to UCLA. And she worked at Universal Studios. She got hired for acting. Like, she knew she wanted, like, her family strategically moved here when she was 13 for her to do acting. Like, she knew. Like, this is why we're, like, the intentionality of it all, right? Like, they purposefully moved here. They took a financial hit. Like, she literally worked jobs as a child to make this happen.
That's the Mars on her ascendant, though. Like, so motivated. If you have Mars on your ascendant, you are so driven. And then she also has Uranus in her 4th house, which would indicate all the things you just shared around the changes that happen in the family dynamic, the sudden movement,
like finances, the moving,
the ups and the downs. Mm-hmm. Yes.
And she has like a younger brother that also does acting and is like he's a Twitch streamer. So it's like both of the children are influential in the family and have like some like kind of like following in their family, which I think is very interesting. Yeah. It says that her parents like I think like her dad worked in hospitality. That's all it says. And then her mom was a criminal defense lawyer. So it's like, I don't know. But yeah, she's had like rumors, she's had bullying. So that also kind of tracks with like the Lilith conjunct her sun of like consistently facing like backlash or facing like bad types of behavior or receiving bad types of behavior. Yeah. So it's interesting. It's like she's no stranger to this. She's had it multiple times in her life already. And she's clearly calculated, but then decided to do it anyways. Yeah. It's almost like she's saying she cares more about one thing than the other.
Yeah. Well, her Pluto is in her 2nd house, which the 2nd house is the house of money.
And values.
Yeah. So maybe that ad was in alignment with her true values.
Right. Because Pluto is about, like, intensity. Yeah. It can be about, like, taboo things. And, like, maybe she just really aligns herself with, like, being the other.
Or being the, like, good girl that has this extra sexy side as well. Because I feel like that's what her energy is giving.
Well, and I also think that a lot of conservative and religious, like, structures, they like that. They were like, you know, it's like the, what is it, like, lady in the streets, freak in the sheets type of thing. It's like the whole existence of being a female in the patriarchy is this, like, conundrum. I can't remember, not conundrum. There's like a word for this. Paradox, thank you. Where it's like, be sexy, but not too sexy because then you're a slut. and like be virtuous or pure, but not too pure because then you're a prude. You know, it's like that type of like, I feel like she's like trying to like master that like sweet spot in the paradox, which is like the point of a paradox is that it's like impossible. But it feels like she's like, no, I am like the sexy, but I'm also the pure and like good genes, like white colonial ideology.
Yeah.
Because that's what we see that in churches and stuff. That's why churches have like all this sexual, like inappropriate undertones. But then they're like, no, we love God. It's literally just a mirror of that.
Yeah. Yeah. And she even has a movie where she goes into some of those undertones within religion. It's a horror movie. I can't remember the name of it, but that is interesting learning. And that The Handmaid's Tale is like that. So. The religious background. So, yeah. Yeah, I feel like her energy with Black Moon Lilith on her sun, she is here to own this like raw, wild part of herself and not be forced into this the box of purity.
Yeah. That's her true freedom. Because Black Moon Lilith is all about like finding your individuality and your power and your freedom.
Yes.
And she's like just wrapped up in the society of it. Because having her Mercury there, it's like she's speaking on behalf of the collective, on behalf of the community.
Yeah, she has herself. Her MC also. Yeah, her MC in Virgo conjunct her natal Mercury, which Mercury exalts in the sign of Virgo. So
I keep seeing someone like hijacking her voice from a young age. And she's not like aware. The other thing that's striking to me is her moon in the third house conjunct Neptune, because Neptune is also seen as a very like spiritual planet. Like when I do astrolocation or astrocartography, like if you want to have like a spiritual experience, you go to where like a Neptune line is. But the downside, I guess, or like the unfavorable part of Neptune is the spiritual part of like obsession and cults. So like they say like if you go to where the Neptune line is like like geographically, you could get swept into like some like hyper religious or like because spirituality is usually religion, hyper religious like ideologies and land yourself in a cult, or just like be like forced into very conservative like something or other, right? So it's like good for like a trip, but not good for living particularly. And having her Neptune like conjunct her moon there in the third house of like speaking and thoughts and your neighborhood feels very interesting. So it's like I feel like the spiritual, like the religious influence in the neighborhood and like her childhood is very apparent in her emotions, right?
Yeah, I mean the moon rejoices here, right? The third house is known as the house of the goddess. So if you have your moon in the third house, it's where she rejoices because she's able to express and communicate her emotions from that place. But then the Neptune piece adds a layer of the mystery, of the illusion. It also, Neptune is the frequency of artistry. So that is very apparent in her emotional tie to the work that she does. My question is, Neptune can often relate to, because it relates to fantasy, it can relate to losing oneself in
that's what I'm feeling.
Substances or and then when you are under that kind of influence, or not even substance, it could even just be like hypnosis, mind control, which we see even in programs like the church. So that's what brainwashing is. That's what cults do. They get you to believe in one specific thing, and then you can't see the world in any other way. So
that's kind of what I was seeing. I feel like she's a little bit aware of it now, but I feel like she low-key is like into it, which is like Stockholm syndrome. Like you like align yourself with your captor and you're like, I love them, they're great, like you start to see it from their perspective and convince yourself that that's what you want too.
Which maybe is Persephone's story, right? If we don't see it the way that I see it, right? Like,
if we look at it from the other coin.
It could be,
yeah. It's like she's trapped here, so she's like, might as well learn to love it, you know, type of thing.
Yeah.
Which can be like a story of like abuse and all of that. And she has that right on her ascendant, on her rising sign. So I don't know. I felt like the Neptune with the moon there was like very interesting. It's weird. Psychically, I feel like her chart as an actor, perfect for acting, right?
Yeah, that South Node in the 5th house in Pisces.
Yeah, and then like you were saying, like the moon in the 3rd house and having the Neptunian qualities there.
And Athena is also there, conjunct her moon, which gives her like a multifaceted capacity.
Yep, like all these placements, great for acting, but perhaps not good for real life. I feel is like the vibe I'm getting. It's like this could fall into the wrong hands, and like we're supposing, obviously, right? We're predicting that her family and her influence and her upbringing has kind of like really impacted her and how she's showing up in the world and what she believes in and what she values. But and her being a good actor, I think that's why I've seen some of her stuff. It feels real. Like, that's the Scorpio energy. It's like, I feel like she's like embodying it. Like, when you look at her, you see this like solidness behind her when she's acting. It's hard to, yeah. And so I feel like her knowing that she wanted to act from a young age, growing up in the environment that she grew up in, like, maybe like a part of her feels like she likes being in this because she knows that she can push herself to thrive in these roles that she's expected to fulfill, which, like I said, as an actor, great. We want you to fill this role. We pay you to do it convincingly so that people really feel like you're this person. And then in real life, it's like maybe her family like wants her to align with these ideologies and spread these ideologies. And she's like, I can fulfill that role. I can be that person that you want me to be. So yeah, I feel like it's like, who is she underneath all of that?
Yeah. I also wonder what it was like for her, especially now seeing that she has a super religious family, what it was like for her embracing more of her sexuality and her sexual expression to the world, right? With Lilith on her sun and her North Node.
I keep seeing that like her parents wanted her to do that. Like it's giving, it's not as intense, but the next closest example that I can think of is Britney Spears. Where, like, the parents manipulated her and were like, keep doing it because they wanted her money. And they didn't care that she was sexualized. I just keep seeing this, like, parental figure, like, standing, like, behind and, like, saying things to her.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, with Neptune on the moon, that can create this layer of confusion and illusion and processing your own emotions.
Yes, especially having a Capricorn moon because
where the moon is in fall.
It's harder to process the emotions when you have an earth sign moon because earth signs don't like to think about their emotions and they don't like to process them. Yeah. And they'd rather take action or do things, you know? And so it can be hard to be like, wow, that's a really... Like, that's a lot if this is true, right? Like, growing up in this dynamic, being put in this, like, that's a lot to process. Yeah. And then to have this, like, Neptunian, like, shadow or cloud cast over you as well when trying to process your emotions can feel, like, I'm getting, like, the fantasy, like you were talking about. Like, maybe she just starts, like, daydreaming and thinking that it's, like, just in her mind or something like that.
I feel like Sydney Sweeney also has lots of periods where she just completely burns out. She just uses all of her life force, and then burns out.
I could see that for sure. Yeah. And she's all like mostly on, I feel like, the left side of the chart too. So it's like values, speaking, family, and then like external, like with the community piece, like she's all that, you know, and like through herself because she has a lot in her first house.
Yeah, she also has Venus and Chiron in a conjunction in Scorpio, but it's happening in the first decan, so it's nowhere near her ascendant. And so this is also interesting too because Venus is in detriment in Scorpio, And then Chiron is here, so that indicates a deep wounding and pain point in love and in relationship dynamics.
Well, and in the first house, love of the self.
Exactly.
You're like...
Yeah. And I think she went through a public breakup, too.
Yeah.
So...
that makes a lot of sense. Like, I feel like, dang, the Venus and the Chiron is rough. We've been talking so much about her body and her acting and, like, putting herself out there in her platform and, like, her sexuality. I feel like she's gonna be, because she's, like, born in 97, so she's not even 30 yet. So it's like, she's already this famous, you know. She knew, probably before age 13, was like, we need to get to LA. I'm gonna be an actress.
Yeah.
But I feel like we're gonna see a lot of, like, they're showing Winona Ryder. We're gonna see a lot from this woman, I think, as she ages. You know, like, Winona Ryder was, like, really popular, really famous, went through this weird kleptomania phase where, like, everyone was like, I want nothing to do with you. She wasn't acting, and then she, like, I don't know, she got some kind of help or something, I can't remember, and now she's, like, back in favor again, and she's in, like, Beetlejuice and Stranger Things and all this stuff, and she's like, I'm better now. I feel like she's one of those people where we're gonna see, like Lindsay Lohan was like that, where we just see, like, a lot going on. And it's also, like, I don't know her particular experience with this, but childhood actors always, there's some shit around that, you know, like, they fucks them up psychologically. Like, being in the public eye when you're growing up is rough on your psychology, and especially coming from a controlling or whatever family that's, like, I'm going to say they're controlling if they're religious and they're Republican, right? It's like, you just go from one controlling environment to another controlling environment. So that can be really rough. A lot of child star actors just go through, like, this spiral. Like, look at Amanda Bynes. Like, she's just, like, somewhere else, and, like, Britney Spears. So she's not even, her consciousness is like, whatever, I need to check out. Like, this is too much for me.
I feel like because Sydney, though, she has Mars on her ascendant, I feel like in a way that keeps her grounded in this physicality, in a way maybe those
stars maybe didn't.
No,
I don't think it's, like, that, like, you know, unhinged, but I think I'm, like, using examples of, like, child star actors where it's like you could clearly see the effects of what that industry did on them. I mean, it started, like, Judy Garland is like that, you know. Okay, so let's look at her angel.
Okay, so she has the same guardian angel as Adam Sandler, so I wanted to do a little bit more context on this angel. So Sydney Sweeney's guardian angel is the 34th angel, Lehahia. So if you were also born between September 8th through September 12th, this will also be your guardian angel. And this is the part of source consciousness that is gentleness. So this angel essentially harmonizes the refined frequency of Virgo, the fierce motivation of Mars, and the creativity of Venus. So they're here to teach us that gentleness is not a weakness, but a pathway for power. And it's interesting because this angel is all about raw sensuality, pleasure, and beauty. So we see that also in the way Sydney Sweeney presents herself.
Yeah, she brings it in her eyes.
Yep. And like I said with Adam Sandler, this is the angel that teaches us how to develop confidence, especially as a discipline, and being very multifaceted, having many different gifts and skill sets to share with the world. This angel also helps us in having clarity around knowing exactly what we are here to do and how we are going to carry this mission out. And like I was saying with Adam, that's what I'm saying. It's very intentional.
If you're listening, I'm making a girl what the fuck face.
And like I was saying with Adam, you know, this is the angel of transmuting anger. And so I think that that's really interesting, knowing that Sydney has Mars on her ascendant, and Mars is the archetypal energy of anger. And so I feel like there's also a lot of that buried within Sydney Sweeney's body, this bubbling under the surface
I could
anger.
see that.
But this angel also teaches us how to transmute that energy of anger into our sacred purpose. What makes us so angry that gets our blood boiling? Because the source of that is oftentimes what we're here to change and transform that into a place of clarity and a place of direction in our lives. So, yeah, definitely call this angel in if you find yourself in patterns of suppressing anger or just bursting out in anger, not knowing how to work with the frequency of anger. This angel will definitely support you. So, the other thing that I found really fascinating with this angel is that essentially they represent the cosmic order of things. So, we see with Adam Sandler, he is someone who definitely understands the frequency of the cosmic order as someone who runs his own production company. Imagine the Virgoan level of detail that it takes to run a company in that way. And so because of this connection to cosmic order, it also relates to the frequency of obedience. So this angel you can call in if you find yourself being overly obedient to forces that do not have your best interest at heart or forces that harvest your power.
It's almost like the angels are leaving her a breadcrumb about her family and her upbringing. They're like, call upon us.
Yeah.
You don't need to be here, girl.
You don't need to be obedient to any force. And I feel like that's also Lilith on her North Node.
Yes, I feel like Spirit has left multiple signs for her. Like, you need to break free from this.
Yes. You don't owe anyone anything to be obedient in that way. In fact, Sydney Sweeney, you are the soul that is here to cultivate that frequency of a cosmic divine order.
And we'll see that in her human design too. It comes up.
Yeah, in the same way that Adam Sandler does. And Adam Sandler does it in full ultimate integrity to his soul. Like you said, he understood the cosmic assignment.
Yeah, he got it. This girl, I don't know. She's still getting it. But ultimately, I feel like we were looking at Adam Sandler and he's in his 50s and she's not even 30. So maybe she still has time to get it. Maybe she will learn from this because her Saturn return is coming up. And if this is a taste of her Saturn return, I'm scared for her. I'm not scared for her. But like, you know, it's like, if this is what happens when your Saturn return comes along, is this huge campaign that backfires on you because you align yourself with these values that are not going to be part of the new world that everybody's fighting for, you know, then it's like, I feel like she's going to get like, I want to predict because of the Saturn return, like maybe we'll see a lot of changes from her. Maybe we'll see shifts. Maybe she's changing. I either think, they're saying a baby. I either think she might have a baby.
The South Node in her 5th house. She's been there, done that with baby.
But if you're Republican and if you're MAGA and you're a woman with good genes, baby. So I think that maybe she'll birth something else, another, like a metaphorical baby. I think like she is going to have to decide, do I want to keep aligning and break free from this or not? You know, like that's, I feel like, going to be a big thing for her Saturn return.
100%, because her Saturn return is again happening in Aries in her 6th house, which is all about how she is of service to humanity, and with the Aries medicine, that is all about taking responsibility for her identity, for being in a place of sovereignty.
I see her giving like some apology video on some social media platform or something.
Well, it's interesting, you know, her angelic frequency also helps us understand that what is occurring externally is simply a mirror for what is happening internally. So maybe Sydney Sweeney is facing these certain programs and things that she's thought that she has to be obedient to in order for survival, right? Because especially with the North Node in the 11th house, this is the house of community. And so if everyone around you is thinking in a certain way, it creates the environment for you to be like, well, if I don't think this way, then the Black Moon Lilith, I will be exiled. I will be...
That's what Spirit was saying. It was, she ponders it about leaving, but isn't sure what will it be then. If I don't have this community, if I don't have these people backing me up, what will it be? Like, how will I where will the chips fall? You know, like what's my life gonna be like then?
That's also the Virgo piece, right? The overthinking, overanalyzing, da 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 da.
Yeah.
So yeah, something this angel says that I want to reiterate, because I think this is so powerful. Just because, and I'm saying this because this angel, again, like I said with Adam, helps people in positions of power, nobility, the crowned ones. So this angel says, just because a human is in a position of power does not mean that they are just.
Facts are facts, America. Okay, so this like aligns really well with her human design. So first of all, she's the first generator we're covering on the podcast. Most of the people, all the other people have been manifesting generators, including both of us.
Yes.
So a generator is like the core of a manifesting generator. So generators are known as life force energy. So they have a connection to life force energy or source or divine or whatever you want to call it. And they basically are here to power humanity. So they're like little Energizer bunnies, little generators, right? Like generators power things. So their existence at the core is just to provide energy for the rest of humanity. So because of that, generators have a big circular enveloping and welcoming aura that draws people in. It's magnetic. It's designed to be magnetic because generators and manifesting generators are designed to respond to external stimuli in their environment, whether that's a sound, a color, a light, a person, a feeling, whatever. That's like external stimuli is like in the very like scientific form of like everything is stimuli around us, right? So because of that, they are kind of magnetic. So they're drawing people in, and being around a generator can empower you. It can give you a bunch of energy to do things. But it's also magnetic to bring in opportunities for you to decide with your strategy and authority if it's aligned for you, and then you respond. That's how they're designed to work. So these people just like, they have a lot of energy to throw at things that they are passionate about and things that they care about, which also is like, you wouldn't accept this ad campaign if you weren't into it, right? Like, you've done enough acting at this point in your life and you have enough money that this is more of a strategic choice than a financial choice. She does have emotional authority. With both of us have emotional authority.
So she sat with this then.
If she's using and listening to her authority, yes. So emotional authority in human design, our authority is how we make decisions. It's our intuition on an instinctual level. So for emotional authority people, yes, we are supposed to receive the external stimuli, the invitation. Probably we'll use this example. We received the call, the casting call for the American Eagle ad, or maybe they reached out to her specifically, who knows. And then you're supposed to let the wave of the emotions from the moment, from the whatever is going on around you, pass through you. And then after they pass through you, then you have your clarity. Then you have your decision and your answer. Do I want to do this? Do I not want to do this? So it's like, if to give an example, we get the casting call, your agent's like, hey, American Eagle ad, blah, blah, blah. Do you want to go for it? This is what they're thinking of. You say like, oh my God, that's so cool. I'm so excited. There's a lot of emotions. Then you're supposed to let it sit through you. And then a lot of the time I tell people, if you have emotional authority, like sleep on it. At least give it a couple hours, couple days if you can, depending upon the decision, how big it is. And then afterwards you decide like, I'm feeling aligned with this, or like, I'm not feeling really excited about this. And then you make that decision. So yeah, she likely did sit with it and decided that she did want to do it. So the other piece that's interesting is her profile line. She's a 4/6. So because we have her exact birth time, we can cover this, which we haven't covered for any of the other people, which is known as the regal authority figure. So there's a lot of authority pieces. Her incarnation cross is the, I think it's a right angle cross. Right angle cross of rulership. So there's a lot of authority and rulership pieces here, which is very, very interesting.
Yes.
So a 4/6, the 4 through 6 numbers are all external. So she's all external. 1 through 3 are all internal, and there's only 6 numbers, and you have to match together in specific permutations. It's not random. So she's all external. She's all about connecting with the collective, connecting with community. The 4 lines are all about networking and community, and not in a business oriented way, but about having your like your zone of connections with people. Like think about like one of those like thought maps where it's like if you've seen the L Word, Alice creates like the like map where it's like she kissed her and she kissed her, so technically we're only 3 degrees of separation away from kissing, like type of thing. So it's like the 4 lines, they have like their community, their people, their different communities. So it's like they're often connectors. They're people that bring people together. Who they are surrounded with in their life greatly influences their quality of life. Which is very interesting for her. So a 4 line, if you want to be like a successful entrepreneur and all of your friends are like video game people who smoke weed and don't have a job, then you're going to feel like, what's the point? I'm not moving forward in life, blah, blah, blah. These people don't align with where I want to be. So then in human design, you would say, okay, well, if you want to be an entrepreneur, like befriend entrepreneurs, like get to know people that inspire you or align with you. So they usually say for 4 lines, like you have to be really discerning about especially your inner circle, but about any community that you're a part of, because if it doesn't feed you and what your vision is for your life, then it's not going to help you at all.
Well, isn't it with the lines, the first number is the way you see yourself, and then the next one is how other people see you? Is that correct?
Sort of. It's like your unconscious for the 4 lines. So like for her, the 4 line, it's going to come out. She's not going to think about it as much.
Yeah, and that makes sense with her son being also in the 11th house.
Yes.
It's just a part of her natural identity.
Yes.
Because I'm thinking about that, like I'm a 4 line, but I'm a 1/4.
Yes. So it's more people see you as a 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then I don't always see myself that way.
Yes. You're like, what? I connect people? What do you mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the 6 line, which this is also interesting. Yeah. So the 6 lines are called the role model. So they are here to empower, or they're here to influence the collective by just being themselves. So most of the world gets what do you say? My words are not. Gets raised with the ideology to be a 5 line, which is what I am, which is a teacher, a leader and a teacher. But I'm here to hold your hand, to walk you through it, to help you through my own life and my own lived experience, but also to like teach the collective. The 6 lines, they want to influence or impact the collective, but they don't want to hold your hand. They're not here to be in the trenches with you and like guide you through it. They're here to show up how they want to show up in their authentic truth by being as much themselves as they can. And through them being themselves, that's how they influence others. They're not thinking about how do I help others? How do I show up for the collective? They're thinking about what do I want to do and what feels most authentic to me. And naturally, by embodying that, they will influence others. Oh. So a lot of 6 lines, they want to like do things in this way, but they're like, I don't want to, do one-on-one sessions. Yeah. I just want to put the information out there that I feel is necessary, and people can like, they'll write a book or something more, but 6 lines don't blossom until the last third of their life because of this. So it's a little bit mix of how society is and just how 6 lines are designed. But basically from 0 until 29, till your first Saturn return, 6 lines function as 3 lines, which is what I am, which are the martyrs, which learn through doing, through making mistakes, and through failures and successes. So that's where she's at. She's in that part of her life right now where she's still functioning like a 3 line, where she's learning, gathering data, doing things, like figuring out if they work for her, experimenting, changing. That's how I'm designed to work. And then once they go through their Saturn return, then they step into their 6 line mode where they're like, I'm not trying to be out there holding people's hands and getting dirty in the trenches. Then they start to formulate like more of like, what am I here to do? What do I want to do? How do I want to show up? But it's they detach a lot more from society. They become more aloof. And in this time, if the goal of a 6 line, this is where society comes into play. The goal of a 6 line is to be the most you that you can be. They say in human design, you're not even thinking about it. It's just, it feels right. And that's how you know that you're being your authentic self. But our society tells you to be this, to be that, to be this thing, that thing, another thing, to don't be this, be that. And clearly her family is telling her, be this, be that, do this, do that. So that's why for 6 lines, they don't tend to blossom to the last third of their life, because how do you be your authentic self in a world that's constantly telling you to be someone else? So they really have to spend that second phase of life unlearning, detoxing, decolonizing, if they choose to do so. Not everyone chooses to. And figuring out who they are, what are they for, what's their zone of genius, and all that kind of stuff. And then in the last third of their life is when they're like, fuck it, I'm me 100%. And then they also have to choose to stop being aloof and detached and to tap back in and influence. But it's like she's the regal authority figure, so she's already influencing because she's in such a large platform. And she's starting to do this now. We're seeing that, like, by intentionally picking ads that are influencing a certain ideology that she aligns with. But yeah, I have a few people in my life, clients and family who are 6 lines, and my cousin's a 6 line. She didn't blossom. I find the last third of your life is like 50s, but if you're really listening and paying attention, it could be 40s, but late 40s. So a lot of 6 line people are always like, I still haven't figured out that thing. I don't know what it is. They change their career a lot. Their life changes a lot. And yeah, the regal authority figure, when you put that together, it's like by showing up and being who she is, she's influencing her community. She seems like, oh, I'm just effortlessly being me and I can influence. And that's really what she's already kind of doing that, in a lot of ways. I'm not going to go through her whole human design chart, but her incarnation cross is the right angle cross of rulership. So I'm going to read that paragraph. Yeah. You are here to make sense out of the past. Your energy brings forward the events from the past and gives the full picture in the present. You may use this to lead, or you may simply use it to rule your world, whatever that passion is to you. You will always make more sense and have more of a connection with people in your life when you integrate the past into what you're doing now. It is this continuity that you offer to help others connect and feel in tune. So she probably did really well with period pieces.
Yeah.
But it seems she is bringing up the past, just the shitty part of the past that's really racist. And so this main gene key that she has is called the Alchemist. So it's gene key 47. This is her solar gift, what she shines, what people will see her and notice her for, her main gift in this life. And that's the main gene key in her incarnation cross. So the Alchemist learns about life by relating it to his own personal experience. He takes on a lot of adversity and karma in different relationships and situations. He could deny or deflect. He could say, I'm the victim. Why are you doing this to me? I'm suffering. Why are these limitations being put on me? But he doesn't. He owns each and every adversity fully, which is sort of, she's not doing that right now. So I'd be curious if she does put out a statement or does take some accountability, because her main gene key is asking of her to do this, and this is her gift. So the Alchemist knows that we carry karma that belongs to the collective and is both individual and collective. It's imprinted in our DNA, our ancestral memory. It's passed through lineages, and it means that oppression is part of the current coding of our bodies. So the Alchemist can trust in their karma, or in human design, they call it dharma, because human design pulls from Ayurveda, which is Indian. Will bring him experiences to resolve his personal and collective karma, which is why I was talking about this feels part of the Saturn return. Yeah. That this is a part of her karma that she is supposed to be cleaning up and not perpetuating this harmful ideologies and beliefs. Yes. But she's sort of not really doing that right now.
That's also what her guardian angel does, corrects karmic imbalances and bring things back into divine order. And that also is speaking so beautifully to her Scorpio rising.
Yes. The alchemy piece, right? Yes. Yeah. So instead of projecting karma outwards as drama, he will bring the experience of suffering completely inwards. His powerful sense of awareness neutralizes the karma inside the cauldron of his belly. The anger that you were talking about. She's maybe in the inward phase, trying to figure it out. I don't know. And then the alchemist literally burns off karma through breathing and fearless presence. It's a continuous process of initiation where the karma is gradually transmuted into light as memory from the DNA is purged. And oppressed light is released. So she's literally supposed to be fixing, healing, changing, and using the past pains, the past oppressions, the past that isn't good, and connecting it to what we have now, then clearing that out, right? So we're seeing that with her incarnation cross. It's really interesting. Like, it's I'm curious if there's like a piece. Sometimes they say like surrender is a very big piece for these people. They have to surrender to the karma that is being presented to them, to the situations that they're in, and perhaps she's not doing that. Yeah, because you're supposed to take ownership out of every piece of adversity. And so like the Achilles heel for this, like the struggles, is to needing to accept your suffering, to let go of the need to know, and shadow work, which can be very, very scary for people. And especially if she's in a very religious or controlling environment, she might not even be doing any of that or be called to do any of that. Very interesting. And then there was one other piece. Oh, so she has 2 channels, because she only has 2 channels in her body. I wanted to talk about them because the channels are what connects the defined centers, and she only has 3 defined centers: the root, the sacral, and the solar plexus. And the channels are how the flow of energy works, kind of like the motor system in our body, and what we're driven by. And I found her channels very, very interesting. I love going through the channels with people. It's like when you go through them, they're like, oh my God. So she has a channel that's from gate 59 to gate 6, which is known as the channel of mating. So gate 59 is sexual creativity, and gate 6 is conflict. Which we're seeing with the Scorpio rising and the Scorpio Mars, like literally everything in her chart. So this gate plays a crucial role in human relationships, romantic and sexual connections. It's all about overcoming barriers to attain intimacy and connection. So again, needing to face adversity, needing to move through hardship or challenge. People who have this defined in their chart tend to be naturally skilled at breaking down walls, facilitating bonding, and fostering close relationships, which makes sense why she has such an intense following and community. They can sense emotional boundaries and intuitively know how to establish and move through them to make deep connections. Like kind of like, oh, I shouldn't go there, I should go here. This person will, really like that or appreciate that. With this energy, it doesn't necessarily equal like just being super sexual or promiscuous. It's about understanding barriers that prevent intimacy and the capability to work through them. So that's why it's considered mating, right? Because in mating, we're bringing together sperm and egg, and we're fusing those things together, right?
That also speaks to Venus and Chiron in that conjunction in her first house, like healing the wounding of intimacy.
Yes.
Especially with herself.
Yes. And it's any kind of relationship. It's not just sexual. And there's a lot of nuances. There's a lot of misunderstandings that can arise when other people interpret this energy. They might feel it's too intense for them, too overwhelming for them, because it's like true intimacy. A lot of people don't know how to handle that. So being really aware and having clear communication is important when you have this channel. It's really interesting. I want to see. It's all about being able to overcome intense challenges.
Which is so Scorpio rising, to be able to meet those challenges and continue to alchemize. Yeah,
and the challenge for them is to be aware of their intense energy and its potential effects on other people, as well as being able to go to these depths of having deep connections and intimacy with people. It says like, if they have awareness and respect, it can mitigate potential negative impacts. So it's like maybe she's not doing that, and that's why there's a lot of negative impacts around her. The other channel that she has is gate 19 to 49, and this is considered the channel of synthesis. So gate 19 is the gate of wanting. This is a energy that desires to bring about societal or relationship changes. So she's wanting societal change, but to be really bad, to go back right now is what she's telling us, right?
Yeah.
And then gate 49 is the gate of principles. So it's an energy of this like revolutionary spirit that has the ability to break free from constraints. So very interesting. I feel like these things are also kind of going with what I was picking up psychically about maybe in her lifetime, these things will be shifting and she will break free from those. And you were even saying she needs to break free from these.
Yeah, embody the Lilith on her sun and just be wild in her true essence.
And this one is also about being highly sensitive towards other people's emotions, having heightened intuition and instinctive understanding of emotional needs and desires of those around them, which I said, great for acting, right? She knows what she needs to do to get there, to give you that energy that you're asking of as a director. She knows how to connect with you from the screen, right?
That's also Scorpio rising. I have not met one Scorpio rising that isn't so psychic. And it's psychic in a way that is penetrating, like you can't avoid.
And knowing that she has all this psychic energy, it's like, how did you not know that this was not a good career move for you? Or I don't know, I guess for me it's kind of like, I'd rather the demon show itself to me than pretend, right? Like that's what everybody's kind of pissed about in America right now, is that they've been lying to us for so long and telling us a different narrative. So it's like, sometimes the when the evil shows its face, it's a little bit easier to deal with for a lot of people. It's like, well, at least she's not fucking lying and saying she's a Democrat and pretending that she's a liberal, and she's just out here fucking telling us like, I don't give a shit if you're not white, I don't care about you or whatever, you know. I know like she hasn't like outwardly claimed that, but her actions and being a part of this ad are aligning her with that ideology.
Well, especially when the internet is coming out in troves saying this, and then
So this gate this channel is supposed to give people this revolutionary energy to create significant changes in their environment. So they're sensitive to these emotions, but then they're also capable of pushing and creating this change that is needed. So also weird that it's like people are sharing their emotional needs with her. She's likely aware and likely feeling it, but it's like, where is the next part where you're creating change? I'd be curious. Like, I feel like, I don't want to predict. I feel like it might be a little bit longer than what we think. Like, it wouldn't just be like, you're right, I'm bad, I'm so sorry, everyone. Like, and then complete 180 and we're never going to see that again. I think it's going to take her a lot longer than just this. So that's why I think like her Saturn return the next few years is really where she's going to be getting this. Like, I feel like she's going to be hit from all sides to decide, like, break free from what your family has indoctrinated you into or not. That I think is going to be her main struggle. And so, again, this is also about needing to be aware of the challenges that come with this channel, that your sensitivity can lead you to take on other people's emotions and cause emotional overwhelm. And so maybe she's taking on the emotions of her family and her upbringing, right? And also the revolutionary energy in this can be disruptive and confrontational. So like we see her just being like, boom, here we go. This is what I believe in. And everyone's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Hey, that's not cool, you know?
Yeah, I want to speak to that sensitivity piece. I also feel like that's Neptune on her moon.
Yes. Very emotionally aware and intuitively aware. Yeah.
Like, I feel like Neptune on your moon creates this sensitivity within your emotions. And then, we were talking about the confusion and the illusion processing your own emotions. But, the people that you're around, the energies that are around you when you have Neptune on your moon is definitely creates that heightened sensitivity.
And it says people who don't have this channel can find themselves very influenced by people who have this channel. like being in their presence, that
the obedience piece,
they can have an enhanced sense of emotional sensitivity around her, and also feel a stronger desire to bring about change around her.
Yeah,
it's very interesting.
I feel like in order for someone to be in a true position of leadership and power and responsibility, it is important to have sensitivity to what your community is truly needing. And if you don't have that sensitivity, then I feel like that's where we start to see evil really take root. Because then there's no care.
There's choice in both of these, right? Like both of these channels, even her incarnation cross, we see she has a lot of this emotional awareness, intuitive awareness, influential change-making energy in her human design chart in multiple ways. And we haven't even gone through like her whole chart, right? So I'm sure that there's going to be more.
And in her astrology chart too.
And so I just think it's kind of bullshit that
she's using her influence for this.
Yes, I think it's intentional. I think it's on purpose. I think she's aware. And I think that she's just maybe either fully aligned with these people and believes in it, or is wrapped up in it and hasn't connected or contributed to the gaps in why this is harmful or why this isn't the right, future that we're building. Because if she has all this energy, she can sure as hell use it for whatever she wants, right? She can influence and change in the way that she's putting out this ad and trying to influence people to agree with these like Nazi eugenics ideologies. The other thing that came through when I was talking about this psychically was, I feel like when you're talking about how sensitive she is emotionally with her moon, I feel like she did sense and did have like this emotional sense, but I think because the people around her maybe didn't like encourage or create space around this or teach her around this, I feel like she's more so mirroring whatever those people around her were doing, as opposed to listening to her authentic like energy and feelings. Does that make sense?
And I think that's exactly why what I was feeling, I feel like she goes through these periods of burnout.
Yes, because she's taking it all on. We saw that too. She had the thing to take on other people's emotions. She's highly sensitive to other people's emotions. She probably needs a lot of detox downtime to make sure she's not. And she only has 3 defined energy centers in her body.
Wow.
So as a generator, that's not that many. Usually generators have more.
A lot more.
So that means she has 1, 2, 3... I think she has 5 undefined. So she has only 3. When we have undefined energy centers,
you're susceptible, right?
We are
people's energy.
We are susceptible to taking on other people's truths or beliefs or energies in that whatever that energy center rules over. So, for example, the mind, she has like an open head center. So she's going to be more open-minded, but more susceptible to other people's thoughts and beliefs and taking those thoughts and beliefs on as her own. So she has the undefined head, undefined third eye, throat, identity center, actually 6, spleen, and heart. So she has all these potentials for taking on other people's energies and in those spaces, right? So the heart, I have an undefined heart. I did this with my mother. You take on the heart in human design rules over the ego and motivation. So it's like I took on like the beliefs of self, the egoic pieces of how my mom thought and treated herself and spoke about herself. And I took that on as my truth. And then through healing, through therapy, and through other modalities, I learned that's not my truth. I don't need to take that on, right? Like, so yeah, and the undefined throat, she could be speaking on behalf of other people's ideologies, you know? And a lot of these, it's not a consciously aware piece. It's just over time, you just take it on subconsciously because there's no defined energy there that's taking precedence.
Creating the boundary.
Yes.
Yeah.
So very interesting. I think the example that I was using totally highlights that. Like how I was saying that I kept seeing her like wanting to feel something or address something, and then the people around her not like validating or bringing it up, and that teaching her how to do things. So like the example I have is my own life. My mom was very like emotionally detached in my childhood and emotionally just like disassociated or unaware. I don't know, she claims all these things, but like I had a panic attack for the first time in like middle school or high school time, and I was like dry heaving in the toilet for like 30 minutes, and then I came outside. My mom was a smoker, so she came out, she was in the garage smoking, and I was like, I think something's wrong with me. Like I was gonna throw up, but then no throw up came out. Like, what, am I okay, mom? And she was like, oh, you had a panic attack, and then just like kept smoking her cigarette. So it's like, for me as a child, I'm like coming to the elder like, what is going on with me? Am I sick? Am I not sick? Is this okay? And then I'm thinking like, I don't know if I should freak out because I don't know what this is. And so I'm looking to my elder to guide me, to show me what this is and how to deal with it. And she just was like, so like casual about it. So like, oh yeah, you just had a panic attack. Great. Good for you. You know, like type of energy. And so in that moment, I was like, so what I'm learning, not that I was consciously aware that this was happening, but it's like, so what I learned in that moment is like, when we have intense emotional stuff, it's just normal and we just brush it off and we just keep going on with our life.
It's on you to self-soothe,
not
reach out for support.
Yeah, like I'm not going to get this help. I don't know what to do. So I was kind of seeing something similar like that for her, where it's like maybe she thought about breaking through or had these different thoughts or ideologies, and then her family was like, no, that's not what we do. Or maybe her religious upbringing was like, no.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see that for her.
Yeah. So, I don't know. We made a lot of claims about this person.
I feel like, you know, as a soul, she is someone who inherently has a lot of power.
Yeah, we see it.
Exactly. And that's why it's very disturbing to see the undertones of this ad.
Yeah, especially in this time where all of this ideology is gaining outward traction and emboldening people to speak out about these racist and harmful and oppressive ideologies and support them. And for her to then add herself to that as like another building block in the ladder is shenanigans.
Yeah, it's very disturbing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's unsettling.
Yeah. I guess we'll wait and see what she says. I doubt she's going to be saying anything of note. And I'm really curious about what will happen to her as her Saturn return. We'll have to check back in and be like, were our predictions correct? Did she get her ass handed to her? Did she break free from republicanism, from religious like binds?
I feel like at the end of the day, regardless of what she does, she's always gonna have a fan base. That's the sun in her 11th house. I feel like that's something, and that's the other part that's disturbing, is the community that is like cheering this on. Yeah.
Well, we've seen that so much in the entertainment industry. Like there's like people like Woody Allen who like groomed his wife. Like from underage, then married her, and like everyone just kept going on with their lives and kept giving him roles and all these. So it's like, it's already and like we're learning, even, you know, with P. Diddy and all the things, like this is so rampant. Going to
be getting pardoned, like that's very disturbing.
Like it's so rampant in these industries and commonplace. So it makes sense. Like we're just taught, we're bombarded with this it's on purpose. We're bombarded with this onslaught so that we're so tired that we don't speak up and, you know, deplatform these people and force them to take accountability for their actions or go to rehab or something, you know. We're just so tired that we're like, whatever, dude, I'll watch this guy's movie even though he's like a rapist or something. You know? And we don't know. They hide it from us. So chances are most of them are.
Well, that's why I sat with it, and I know we said on the podcast that we were going to cover Freakier Friday.
Oh, yeah, we decided not to do that, y'all.
With Jamie Lee Curtis, I just felt like Spirit was saying don't even go there.
Yeah.
Don't open that.
In case you're wondering why we're not going to cover that movie, it's because Jamie Lee Curtis is a Zionist.
An open Zionist.
Outward, on her Instagram posting shit Zionist.
And that is just...
We don't want to...
It's very disturbing.
Yeah.
To be in support of such... just unspeakable things.
Yeah, like, and the reason why we chose to talk about Sydney Sweeney, even though she's supporting these things, is because there was this whole ad that was like tied to it that we could judge and critique and maybe use it as a learning example.
And because she's so young, she does have the energy to change.
Yes. Whereas, it would be weird to, like, cover the movie of Freaky Friday and then just be talking about, like, Jamie Lee Curtis's Zionism. Like, it was like a weird, like, it didn't make sense. But with this thing with Sydney Sweeney, it's like trending, a thing that people are upset about. Let's break down, like, what we think her thought process was or how she was connected to this. So we can maybe understand if it's real, if it's not real, blah, 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 all the things.
And, you know, the fact that she isn't saying anything is also, I feel like, detrimental to her MC, because the MC is the highest point of the natal chart. It's how other people perceive you. It's your status, career, reputation. And for her to have Hermes, Mercury, exalted in the sign of Virgo, who represents expression and communication, for her to not say anything, it just feels like that's so out of alignment with who she's here to be in the collective.
Yeah, she's supposed to be speaking out, making change, being revolutionary, like ruling, like influencing and creating big change literally on a societal level. It says in her purpose.
Yeah.
So for her to be quiet about this, it's like obvious that she's aligning with a specific kind of change that is not what everybody else wants. And there's really nothing else for her. It's like, it's low key, like she's saying, like, the ad is self-explanatory. I said what I said. You know?
Not by not saying anything at all.
Yeah.
We live in times where the evil is really coming up to the surface right in front of our faces.
Yeah. I think that's what Pluto and Capricorn's gift was. Exposing the lies that we've been fed for generations. Mm-hmm. So I'm thankful that, like I said, easier to see the devil that lies straight, or that tells the truth to your face than tries to lie behind your back, right? So now we see the truth of it, and now we can make more informed decisions and enact change and not keep being lied to.
The lies aren't even believable now. Like, no. There's no Epstein files now all of a sudden, but yet your name is redacted.
I feel like everything that Trump says he's like a separate... He's not like most of the other politicians that are lying straight to our face. Like, and then we don't know. Like, he's just like on another fucking planet. I think he has like dementia. He was like on the roof of the White House yesterday or the day before. And people are like, what are you doing up there? And he's like, just taking a walk. Like, he totally has dementia.
Well, I don't know if this is true, but I guess he was up there because he wants to start building some kind of missile launch pad. I don't know if that's true, but...
I'm rolling my eyes so hard. It just fell out of my socket. No, I mean, we know everything he says is a lie. He only cares about things that serve his agenda, and he changes his agenda. He's such a Gemini. He's like, he blows with the wind, you know? It's like, oh, if this is advantageous for me, I'll agree to this. If this is advantageous for me, I'll agree to that. He has no backbone, no morals, no nothing.
Well, that's why he's openly like, yeah, I love this ad. Like,
yeah. He's like, great, serves my narrative.
Yeah.
Aligns with my beliefs. I only want America to be white people. He literally says that. He said it in so many words, you know?
Yeah, I mean, why else would he purposely bring in white South Africans as immigrants and then make such a big deal?
Yeah. And, like, get rid of immigration and birthright citizenship, but then allow rich people to buy citizenship. Like, he's so transparent.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's beyond ridiculous. It's sad. It's scary.
That's why I'm saying, like, if someone like Renee Rapp, like, and I'm saying that because she's also blonde, white, I think around the same age, made an ad, and Trump was praising it. Like, she would immediately be like, absolutely not. Like,
well, yeah, there's different values and upbringing.
That's what I'm saying. So by Sydney Sweeney not saying anything at all because of the internet having an outburst, right? It just is speaking volumes to where we're at as a society.
Yeah. That it's okay that she can just do this and everyone's just like, all right, tomorrow's another day.
And it's not okay. And that's why it is important for all of us, the collective, to call this out.
Yeah.
And to continue speaking our values.
Yeah. Which is why we're not supporting Jamie Lee Curtis, and we're not going to go see the movie in the theaters and give her our money. And we're speaking out and reprimanding this white woman.
Yeah.
Shame on you, Sydney Sweeney. I just want to yell at her like that so hard.
Like, girl, what are you doing?
I mean, look, she can be super indoctrinated in her family bullshit.
That's what I'm saying.
Hopefully she's gaining the authority and consciousness. She has enough money to break free from her family.
Yeah.
Like, hopefully the Saturn return teaches her that everything that she learned is incorrect. And she's on the wrong side of history.
That's what brainwashing can do to you.
Yeah,
though.
For sure. If her family's super religious, I have so many clients that have like religious trauma, religious conditioning. Like they've fully seen like a spirit with their eyes open, and they're like, I don't know, do I believe in this? Is it demons? And it's like, because they're religious upbringing.
I get it. I'm still unraveling religious trauma years after being in the church. I'm still unraveling it.
I didn't have religious trauma, thank God, but my partner has religious trauma for sure.
And Branky and I have bonded over that. That's why I'm currently reading this amazing book by an astrologer that I love. Her name is Barbara Handclough, and it was her first fictional work. It's called Revelations of a Ruby Crystal. I'm halfway through it, and she's exploring the dark undercurrents of the Vatican and what goes on there and the abuse of power. And reading it, even though it's a fiction, it's sort of healing my religious trauma. And it's insanely good. So I'm just going to throw that out there in the ethers, that if you also have religious trauma, it's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just thought about going to the Vatican, and it made me like,
ugh. Yeah, they stole statues of Sekhmet, who's my goddess, the lioness warrior goddess, and she's there. They purposely placed her there in the Vatican to be a force of protection, but she's there raging. Like, she's there as this goddess that transmutes anger. Oh, that part just made me sick to my stomach, the fact that they did that purposely.
Amongst the bajillion other things that they've done that's inappropriate and that they're hiding underneath in there.
There's so many things.
All the poor underage children's virginities.
Yeah, she's exploring this in this novel. And it's...
healing.
Yeah, it's... because it's a lot. When you go through years of being indoctrinated into a belief system...
and at such a fragile age, when you're so young and you don't know your power and all these things. Yeah, my partner, he went to like Catholic school all the way up through fucking 12th grade. Like, it's just, it's rough in this piece. Hearing his stories and stuff, I'm like, gee, his parents weren't like super religious. They was more of like, hey, you have to do this, you know, so you don't go to hell type of thing. But like, it's still really horrible. Like, he couldn't, I know he's going to get upset, TMI, but, like, I would be like, just, it's your home. Like, just walk around in your underwear. It's your own home. And he's like, what? I'm allowed to do that? And I was like, you pay rent here. You can walk around. Like, I don't care. I'm the only other person here. And he's like, it's my religious trauma. I feel like it's inappropriate. I'm being inappropriate. And I was like, it's your home. Like, having no religious trauma, I was like, I don't see who's gonna come in and like arrest you. Like, is God gonna come in and say that you're being indecent in your home? Like,
that's how deep it cuts
to even little tiny things that like don't super matter in the grand scheme of things. Your brain is like, oh my God, like, what if, you know? It's really sad.
Yeah. So, this took a
Yay,
dark turn.
Religion.
I'm like, I don't even want to open the can of worms with all of my religious.
Yeah, we would be here
trauma.
for. We have to go anyways.
Yeah,
but
like we'd be here for hours long.
It was like, let's open this shit up. It's like all the fucking demons start flying out. It's like, oh my god, let me close this shit back up.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
We're not going there today.
There'd be too many like ego death like thing. You'd be like, oh my god. You'd be like connecting all the dots. You're like, this is too much. Your body would be like visibly shaking.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, be gay, do crime, don't believe in eugenics, punch Nazis. These are the things that we should have in our future.
Yeah, have empathy because it's not a weakness.
Mm-hmm.
It is truly a gift.
Yes, don't let them like hijack your power and your compassion. It is necessary for a sustainable and survivable world. And just remember, like, you're not wrong for going through all these religious things. If you feel a little called out or you feel like you can relate to some of these things that we talked about, sit with it. Take your time. If you were a child when this happened to you, it's not your fault. You were indoctrinated into something, and it's about how you choose to move through it, right? That's why we're low-key like the little like hopefuls in this, and like maybe she'll see the right way and she'll fix her actions.
That's our Jupiterian consciousness.
Because she's not even 30. And it's like, you know what? If you're out here yelling at your freaking like phone and your car, like, you dumb bitch, like this bitch isn't gonna change shit. Like, I get it. Yeah. We're all fucking jaded from this. I get it. I have altruism. I have the gene key of altruism, so I'm always like, yeah, you can do it. Everyone can change. I've literally spent years trying to get my mom to change. So,
but people, they show us who they are.
Yeah, and right now she's showing us that she's a real piece of shit. So,
Sydney Sweeney, clean up your fucking act.
Yeah,
because this shit is gross.
It's nasty.
Yeah.
And eugenics is fake. It's not even real science. It's just fucking racism that tried to masquerade as science, and it's bullshit. So, yeah. We hope you have a revolutionary day.
Ooh, I like that choice of words. That's giving Pluto and Aquarius.
Yes. We hope you, on a podcast that talks about celebrities, stop placing so much importance on celebrities.
Yeah.
That's Pluto and Aquarius, too.
Yes. That, I'm going to drink to that.
Drink to that.
Is the celestial tea right there, baby.
Cheers to the death of billionaires and celebrities. Take a big old swig of that one. It's like straight to the veins. All right.
Oh, goodness.
I'm really hot in this sweater, so...
Yeah, I'm like, why the fuck are you wearing a sweater? It's like 90 degrees outside.
I have a Cancer sun, so I like to be cozy, and I happen to live in California. That's all.
I'm like out here in a super thin sundress.
I'm wearing tiny little shorts, but I've always liked being cozy, and like being wrapped in a sweater is like cozy. I like my stomach to feel like unseen.
I have Cancer Mars.
Yeah.
So
I used to have really bad body image dysmorphia in elementary school, and I would wear a sweater in 90-degree weather because I have to stay after school, and I would play handball, and I would pass out. I would get heat stroke all the time. Like, I would just be, like, ready to be picked up, and my mom would be like, you passed out from not taking off your sweater in 90-degree weather and drinking water. What the fuck? And I was like, I passed out? Because you don't remember. I passed out so many times from heat stroke as a kid. I didn't stop doing that until I was in high school. I learned how to do it.
That's so sad.
So I passed the fuck out. There's actually a funny one.
Yeah.
We had the jump rope-a-thon, where like it's like you raise money for the American Heart Association by doing jump rope. And so you get people to like pledge like 50 cents a jump and stuff, and you're like in elementary school. So they're like, you can do 20. My grandpa pledged $1 a jump, and my little Aries moon was like, I'm gonna do 200 jumps or like 300 jumps so I can get $300 and raise money. I passed out from heat exhaustion. Like, I was, like, going, and then I just woke up, and they were like, you passed out from overheating and I was like, how many jumps did I do? and then I did, like, 200, and my grandpa was like, I'm not going to give you $200.
And let me guess, you weren't wearing sunscreen.
Oh.
We did our floating sound bath, and I'm like, love, fucking put sunscreen on.
My mom had
outside for over 2 hours.
My mom had to tell the counselor in the after school program, like, literally had to give the sun and be like, make sure love. They used to call me tomato because I would just be like,
I know.
And I'd be wearing a sweater like I am now, like sweating, turning red.
I was like, you're about to do this ceremony with no sunscreen on? Absolutely not.
Oh, yeah. But I've had some pretty bad sunburns in my childhood. I had one where I got sunburned.
I gave you that sunscreen. I was like, I'd love to have sunscreen.
Mm-hmm. But I'm more aware of it. Like, I can tell where my edge is now. Like, I'm like, oh, I'll get sunburned from this or I won't. Mm. But yeah, one time I got sunburned in the back of my thighs and then I fell down a dirt hill.
Love, we are white as fuck.
Sunscreen. Literally, my whole childhood, my mom was like, she would like rub it in my fucking hair, like in my scalp that was like exposed. Yeah. I would get sunburned on my scalp all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got so sunburned on my shoulders one time. My friends had to carry my backpack at school because my mom has no empathy. And she was like, you got sunburned, so you can fucking carry it.
Oh my God.
I love it here.
Yeah, we're just trauma dumping at the end of this episode. Sydney Sweeney, this is what you brought out.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. The one when I fell down the dirt hill and cut my legs and then I had sunburn, I couldn't even sit down. I had to sit on a towel. It was really bad. It was really fucking bad.
Well, listeners, let us know your tea stories of religious not putting trauma, on sunscreen.
Heat
wearing
stroke,
sweaters in summertime.
body dysmorphia. Yeah, dude.
Also, do you have similar placements to Sydney? Do you have Mars on your ascendant?
Oops, are you a Nazi? What? No, I'm just kidding. Be the good example. Be like, I have Virgo sun, Capricorn moon, and Scorpio rising, and I'm not like that.
Exactly. Let us know.
Yeah, or are you the right angle cross of rulership? Are you a 4-6?
Oh, yeah. Yes. Give us the tea.
All right, I'm going to be late for my appointment. All right. Okay, bye.
Bye, y'all. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Celestial Tea Podcast.
If you enjoyed our hot takes and breakdowns, please leave us a 5-star review wherever you stream, share with your friends and fam, and follow us on all the socials.
Let us know if there is a pop culture icon or a phenomenon that you want us to look at next. Tune in next week for another piping hot cup of celestial tea. Cute.